Folks, let me do a review of a course I played here in Kentucky not too long ago, a few weeks ago, called Henry's Golf Club. And it is down 71 towards, I would say Lexington, but it's about halfway between Cincinnati and Lexington. It's about an hour and a half out of Cincinnati south. And it is maybe another 30 minutes off the main highway down in some pasture land, converted pasture land. Some houses. It's on, I think, Route 428 heading south away from 71. And it's actually a pretty nice layout. It's not a super obscure wooded course. It's I would say sparsely wooded. It has pretty straightforward fairways and greens, and it's on some rolling farmland, gently rolling farmland, so it's not like up and down every 5 minutes, that you're walking on it, or you're hitting over a hill and up a hill and every time. It's pretty mellow. It has some verticality. It's got some side slope on it. Some of the fairways have a crescent on the fairway, and that adds some interesting features to that. The course is bounded on all four sides, either by a road or farmland or pasture. So it's wide, it's fairly wide open, lots of sun, lots of sky, and some trees. Usually there's a tree, a big tree, maybe 20-foot tree every 20 or 30 feet. So if you hit a wet, if you're out of the fairway, decent, it's nice fairway, but there's lakes, creeks, the trees, and hard rough, where the rough is a little bit longer than fairway, but it's very hard because the ground is baked, dry under the grass, and it's like walking on concrete out there, and the ball can very easily bounce and just jump up and bounce off to the left or right. So if you hit some of the small bumps they have out there, it'll bounce off to the sides, and it's windy. It gets windy easily because there's not much to block the wind. So all in all, it was about a slope 130 course. It was a good challenge, good exercise, good, a decent looking course, some road noise. But overall, the look and feel of the course is pretty decent. I wouldn't call this a country club type course. People there were fairly casual, although they did have most of the people there were wearing collared shirts. Very, casual clubhouse facility, and I thought it was nice. It wasn't expensive at all. It was like $30 for 18 with a cart on Saturday in mid-afternoon, and it was a nice drive. Not too much of a drive out in the countryside, but still a good drive out in the countryside. I mean, you were definitely going out, in the countryside to play this course. Now, the thing about it is that the course, while it is a slope 130 course, it's not a slope 130 course because the layout is really tough. What's tough about it is that there's a lot of features in play. You do have your verticality going down to the lake and coming back up. You do have trees, on the sides of the fairway. You do have waste towards the center of the course around the lake. So almost every hole, if you walk away from the center of the hole, you walk away from a decently wide fairway to an area of rough where there's, maybe 1 or 2 inch grass, and it's not sticking up, it's flat grass. It's all been, we rolled down or whatever. And then the ground under that is very hard. So the balls are very easy to bounce and just bounce and go left and right, depending on if you hit one of the bumps or the lip of a sand trap or something. Not big traps, not a lot of traps, but still out there. And with the slope either left or right, or the elevation changes, there's a fair amount of breeze that can blow your shots if you get them up too high, and they can blow them off to the left or right of the fairway. And then there's the waste in the center. There's a fairly big patch, pretty much every hole. Once you get away from the trees, there's maybe 10 feet of more hard ground grass, and it's well grass covered, but it's still hard. And then there's about 4 or 5 inch waste, thick waste in patches off to the sides of the fairway. So either it's OB off to the right, and pretty much always to the right because you're going counterclockwise around the course. The outside 9 is one lap around the course, then the inside 9 is another lap around the course. on the inside. And it's very easy if you're not hitting very good shots, I would say honestly very good shots, to get off the sides of the fairway and get in the trees or get in that rough or in the waist or go OB. It's quite decently challenging of a course. But at the same time, it's a good hitter's course. It's not so long that it's, I think it was like 6,700 yards from the back tees. Not so long that it's hard to play the course in par, but it's still not, even from the back tees. But it's not so short either that you can't hit some good shots and have, like 150 or 100 yards into the green. So it definitely rewards you going out there and hitting good drives and good irons. But at the same time, it does give you a chance to, miss a fairway here and there and recover from the side. So it's a pretty fun course. I think a fairly challenging course, fairly forgiving course, but still, it's not forgiving. It's not like an easy course you can just go out there and beat balls all over the place. There's a lot of blind shots, up hills and over hills and around corners and stuff. There are a lot of fairways that are just straight out power fairways, par fours and par fives. And there's a lot of water and waste. And there are some shots, I think there's a 240 par 3 over water that's uphill from the water to the green, and waste off to the right and a waste off to the left. And it's just a lot of stuff going on. A lot of OB, not really difficult OB, it's just your ball's out of bounds in somebody else's pasture. Occasionally there's some OB between the fairways, which also keeps players honest that are playing the inner loop. So it's a surprisingly tight course that doesn't look tight, but it actually plays fairly tight. Not a problem, I think, if you're a good player and you're normally keeping your shots in the fairway and on the green and stuff. I don't think it's so much of a problem for a good player who plays clean golf, but it definitely is going to be a challenge if you're at all sloppy and you're skirting the sides of the fairway, skirting the sides of the rough, and it can be surprisingly tough if you're not staying out of the trees, in between the trees. So a clear difference in difficulty between those two styles of play. Now, the putting is pretty decent. The greens are all in good shape. There are some areas of the course where there's a creek that runs alongside the green, or a creek that's just past the green, or a lake that's just past the green, or a lake that's in front of the green. Some of the holes are really nice in that sense that the lake would have a finger that came around in front of the green, and you had to clear that, and you couldn't see it from the middle of the fairway because it's over a slight rise, and it's hidden really. So you really have to read the map and be careful in terms of keeping shots in play. But still a good challenge. I definitely enjoyed the course. The price is quite reasonable. It was about $30 for 18 with a cart on Saturday at 3 o'clock. And the views from the course are nice. It's plenty of sky, plenty of views of the distances, the mountains in the distance in some place, and prairies and houses in the distance in other places. There were almost no houses on the course, but there was car traffic, and I won't say that people in Kentucky are very quiet, let's put it that way. They're a decently boisterous group of people. So when you're on the course, you'll hear people talking around the course in different places. And it was a good enough course, I think, to get out and enjoy playing and work on my game. But I wouldn't say that this is some kind of stuck-up kind of country club course at all. It was a very casual course, and it was a good challenge of golf. It was really a nice outing of golf. I definitely enjoyed playing this course. And while I can't say the course is really a great course, it definitely is good enough to be a good outing, and I would give it a B. It's certainly a B course. That's Henry's Golf Club, and I don't remember the exact city, but it's out fairly far, about halfway between Cincinnati and Louisville, Kentucky.